Hey there. So, podcasting, Roku, Amazon Fire, all the streaming platform. We got Restream, iStream, Ustream. We all stream for ice cream. No, just kidding. But today we're going to talk about this whole process of how you can get on TV. And especially with smart TVs, it's like we can watch TV everywhere. So we have an expert, CF Jackson, who is hailing from Atlanta to talk about Roku and all the other things and how she really got involved in this whole streaming platform of television. And I'll read you her bio when we come back and bring on CF Jackson right after this.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there. So, it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute. Everybody had a great holiday, Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. But let me read you about CF Jackson. My guest today, she has assisted entrepreneurs, authors, and startups to position their brands and products and services for over 14 years by way of online, via social media, email marketing, and SEO, search engine optimization. Really, in recognizing this whole new economy and this whole new technology in 2013, she now takes experts and entrepreneurs from the saturated world of YouTube or mainstream television, how she really discovered that game-changing media that we call that platform called Roku, right? That streaming mega player. Roku and the likes allow entrepreneurs to expand their brand, validate their expertise, and increase sales in a way that only once the super rich can really be on TV, right? But like most people, CF desire to be on television. We all kind of like, oh, that's the big deal, right? To be on TV, which is now actually within our reach. With the creation of iDefine TV Roku channel, she has helped many others throughout the United States. Speakers Magazine is one, Canada, UK, Italy, Barbados, to become more accessible to over 50 million active Roku users a month. And iDefine TV's mission really is to really rebuild television using Roku and the likes with content created by entrepreneurs and experts. And with that, I'm bringing up CF. Yay! Hey there. Hey there. Well, thank you so much. The backstory is we met we were just talking about it before the show, about 2004 or 5 during an era of Blog Talk Radio. And I was doing the Chocolate Pages show. I just kind of tweeted that out today on LinkedIn, where I was interviewing authors on this platform called Blog Talk Radio, which was like the first podcasting network that a lot of people were used to and doing. It's still there, though. I'm not saying that it's gone. It's not dead. It's kind of like MySpace. It's still there.
Yeah.
People aren't using it, right?
No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. It's kind of under the covers.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. If you Google it, it's still there. And so tell people, CF, how you really went from discovering this whole world of technology with your background as an author and how you moved into, I guess you would say, your purpose, I guess you would say.
Well, it's funny you said that because it's going to really kind of start with purpose, because in 2003, I wanted to determine what my purpose was. So that's my mission was, okay, I'm starting the year off in 2003. What's my purpose? I had been in telecom since 1996. So I was like, okay, I want something more. So it's so funny. I had taken a nap on a Saturday, and I grew up in Florida. I came from a single parent household, and my escapism has always been TV and movies. So that was my escapism as a only child. So I woke up and I had a title, clearly as day, and a synopsis. Never had it before, never even imagined. So the title, Won't Be Denied, and I had the synopsis of what this story would be about. So to my mom about it, she said, oh, that's pretty cool. To my friend about it, she said, you ought to write a book. And I said to myself, I don't have time to write a book, let alone a fiction book. And if I read nonfiction because I'm going to learn something and gain something from it. So I'm sitting there on the sofa going back and forth with my voice inside, myself saying no. And I got up and boom, I said, well, what do I have to lose? And I got up and decided to write the book. And it was just a pleasure. Within 4 to 5 months, I wrote this novel. It was one of the most joyful things I ever done. Going to work, having the characters with me all the time. I had my little notepad, and it was amazing how it worked out. And that was really got me catapulting in entrepreneurship, was hearing the voice, listening to the voice, and putting it to pad to pen and pen to pad, and just letting it happen from there. And from there, you'd be amazed that for somebody who didn't like reading or writing or doing all that kind of stuff, it became where I am today. So that's the beginning part of it. So I don't want to go too far, but that's how I
Yeah.
get started, writing a book.
And the main part of writing any book is not the writing part, is the hardest part.
Yeah,
It's the marketing of the book.
yeah,
So marketing is when you were on the podcast and you're probably doing the social media, you were doing all the platforms trying to figure out how to find the audience in order to sell
yeah.
the books. And that's where you really fell in love with the whole marketing part of it, right? The whole part of do I put the book on Facebook? Am I putting it on Twitter? Am I gonna go on Blog Talk Radio with Pam Perry and do a Chocolate Pages show? Or creating your own network, because we had another network at that time called the Chocolate Pages
Yeah,
Network.com that was in there as well. I mean, it's so many different
yeah.
places that you were learning about. But then let's fast forward. So the book thing kind of, it's like, okay, that was good, that was nice, but the marketing thing. So where did you pick that part up and say, I really want to do the Roku, and how that really
Mhm.
came about for you?
Like I said, once you get the book, and back then it was more frowned upon of having on demand. So
Yeah.
I had, you remember that? You didn't, you was
Mhm.
like, if you had on demand, something was not right.
Yeah, it's like you didn't have a real book. You gonna do
Right?
POD, you gonna do print on demand, or you just got an ebook. That's or Kindle. It's like that ain't a real book. You gotta have a publisher. You gotta have Random House or whatever. But no, now it's the other way around. But go on, go on.
Yeah. So I created my own publishing company specifically for my book. So therefore, I had all these books at home. So like I stated, was that now initially I didn't love the marketing thing because you would write it and they would come. Well, that ain't true. So I had to get out there and hustle. So I had to get on the radio here in Atlanta, do access TV, speaking, all the things that was like getting out my comfort zone. And let me tell you one thing, give a quick story. So one day I think I had just been laid off or something, but I was coming back from the grocery store and I listened to Vita 103, and this lady said, today is Tuesday Talent. I said, oh, look, so it's Tuesday Talent. And people were rapping, singing, and all this stuff. And here I am driving from the store. I said, well, I have a talent. I have a book. So I started coming. So I rushed home, right? I'm going to do my book. Now, mind you, I was nervous. But what I did was I read a passage that I created a cadence where I felt comfortable. If I messed up into something, I wouldn't feel kind of out of sort because I read it enough and I wouldn't feel bad. So I rushed home. And if you don't know, Vita 103 is the largest urban channel TV radio station in Atlanta. And I called it, and the first time, Pam, I got on. And I was like, okay, it rung, and somebody answered it. So I was really nervous. So the girl answered the phone. I said, yes, I'm calling for Tuesday Talent. And she goes, well, that segment is over. Well, thank you so much. And she ended the call. So I sit there looking like, it's Tuesday Talent. That means it's Tuesday through the whole series of her show. So I called back, got a busy signal, and I called back the second time, and I got through. I was amazed that this is V103, and I only got through twice. And this time the DJ answered. She said, "Sweetie, how can I help you?" I said, "I have a talent. I'm an author." She said, "Oh, you're gonna read from your book?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, hold on, sweetheart." So I had her on. I said, "Oh my God, I might be on V103." So I'm all nervous and stuff. And then I read it. And what I did was, that's when I kind of had excitement about this whole marketing thing and hustling a little bit. I read my book and she loved it. And I had all my family and friends to email her to
Mm.
say, who was that author? I really enjoyed her passage of her book. And so therefore, now she was filling in on that time. So her slot was like 5 in the morning. So she emailed me and said, would you come on my show? And I did it on the radio again. A couple times with her, and I made it inside the studio, I think the third time with her. But that's where I kind of felt like this is a not a cool thing, but you got to learn how to leverage what you have
Yes,
and
leverage
utilize your
your PR.
friends to get you
Mhm.
there. So that's how I got to that part. But I thought this was a cool story because V103 is a hard thing to get into. And then the DJ, one of the security guards said she must really like you because she never brings anybody in the studio for her show.
Wow.
And
And
I
see,
could,
that's the power of PR. It really is. The
yeah,
power of PR can make a difference with your book, whether you are selling a
Yeah.
course or you're coaching or anything, but the power of PR, the third party thing, it's real interesting because back then, I guess you say that was probably roughly about a decade or so ago.
Yeah.
Uh, we only had so many options with our
Yeah.
broadcasts, right? We had radio, TV, we had a little bit of podcasts,
Yeah.
but we really didn't have a lot. So if you wanted to
Yeah.
be on any kind of broadcast platform, especially television,
Yeah.
YouTube was it.
Yeah.
And you know how crowded YouTube is. So in terms of people like even going live way
Mm.
back then, that was not a thing. Just doing
Yeah.
a live podcast was like a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So how does a person who basically your background, you're an author, you're really getting into the marketing, you love the social media, you love the you see the power of PR,
Yeah.
and then how do you have the I guess you say the foresight to say, okay, so Roku is something that I
Yeah.
really want to do, or Amazon Fire, and there's so many
Mhm.
other different platforms or whatever. But how did you see that that was going to be the thing? Because everybody now is like, it's cool to be on Roku, right?
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
So well, fast forward, like you say, in 2013, someone had mentioned to me, I had never heard of Roku myself. Someone mentioned it to me, so I come home and sometimes I say Google could be your friend or it could be your foe. So I Google this streaming device thing. What is this Roku? And so I never heard of it. So, but Sony popped up. If no one knows Sony, and I have not plugged mine in since, but Sony has a streaming box. I said, okay, Sony has one. So everyone knows Sony. Someone either had a Sony Walkman or boom box or a DVD player. So right?
I had to walk that, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I went ahead and bought the Sony because I'm familiar with Sony. And I was complacent, Pam. I really was because of the fact that I had this cable. 30 days, like so 3 months later or 6 months later, a friend of mine said, yo, you can get on TV with this Roku. I said, oh, really? This is something else. Because I'm thinking about back when I first was as an author, all the legwork, getting on Access TV, speaking and all that local. And that was like 2004, 5. It was a lot of work. But now you said I can get on TV. And I said, well, I don't know about this Roku thing, but how can I get on this Sony? I'm still on the Sony tip because back then, Roku's like kind of like Skechers. No one
Right.
was really kind of digging those Skechers, but now Skechers is a household name. And so I'm looking at it and I said, I couldn't get it. So I bought the Roku and my mind was just blown away. And I'm looking like, wow, look at all this content. And it really was not a thought for me, Pam, because I'm thinking to myself as a kid, I've always admired TV and all that. But I thought to myself, as myself and my mom, who's a independent music artist, she plays acoustic folk blues. And I know she's, challenged with getting exposure and being in the
Mhm.
whole walk of other authors and being in that circle, constantly needing exposure to authors. And I said that to myself, I said, well, how can I help them? I know locally here it can cost you $500 or more just for a 30-minute segment. And I said, well, how can I help? And I said, I need to find out how to get on this Roku thing. And secondly, how can I make it affordable? And really, in iDefine TV, if really you say it, it's a mantra, it's an affirmation. It's not just the name of a company. If you say it, iDefine TV, and I say, yes, you can define TV. You don't need Oprah, but she will be nice. But you don't need Good Morning America, but it would be nice. But now you can do it yourself or be part of a platform that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it was
Mhm.
a no-brainer. And then from there, I started with music artists, independent music artists from around the globe, and it scaled from there. So it was a no-brainer for me. It's like, how can I help? And heck, now I'm my own form of an Oprah. Like we all are now. We're all kicking it in a way that we're all media companies if we look at the platform in a way of that. Because no matter where you are as an author or entrepreneur, we are media moguls in some form or
We
fashion with all these
Yeah,
platforms.
we own our own media.
Yeah,
This right here, this is Get Out Here, Get Known podcast, and
yeah,
it's its own podcast, but it's also a video. It's also on YouTube. It's in different places.
yeah,
Some of the places I don't even know where to go. So obviously, it's in Audible and it's in Apple Podcasts as a video. It's
yeah.
in Apple Podcasts. If you pull it up in Apple Podcasts, our video is
Boom.
actually there. So that's part of it as well, where it's just really
Yeah,
growing and mushrooming and just becoming so much. So let's talk a little bit about we've got the people who are creating the shows,
yeah,
and a lot of them want to do it. And
yeah,
how easy is it for them to really get started? If they go to smile.idefinetv.com and
yeah,
they actually go there, because Speakers Magazine, we're having our show rolling out there,
yeah.
in there. And so basically the process is providing you the MP4, and what happens after that? Like, how does a person really get it going?
Well, we try to make it simple in terms of depends on where they are in a their comfort level. A lot of people are not comfortable with videos, you know, Pam. Sometimes people, I don't like my voice or where I look and all that other stuff, but you got to get outside of that. If we know, like you stated, we're everywhere, not even mentioning TikTok and the stories, the reels, and
Mm-hmm.
we're really in this video media era. So I'll make it simple. One, people can either be interviewed as their first intro level where they can feel comfortable. Sometimes they feel more comfortable having someone hold their hand, asking questions of them and they answering. Or if someone's already creating content, they want to have a show, they can do that on iDefine TV. We can help them with that and we broadcast it on our platform. And like you stated, it's similar to that, like a YouTube. They create their content and we put it in the best lighting. You want to make sure that it's high definition, and you don't have to be having a massive budget. I tell people this all the time. That times have changed. All you need is one digital webcam that we all can get one of those really simplistically.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, our smartphones are HD quality, or if you have a digital camcorder, those are all the things you need. You don't have to go to a studio. You don't have to go anywhere massive. You can create something within your home, or home office, or at an office, and bam, create the content and then get it to be edited. And that's it. And then if someone wants to go big and have people who want to go bigger, well, I don't want to be on iDefine TV. Okay, I get it. Maybe with your own channel and we can help you develop and manage that for you as you do what you do is creating the content and you can monetize it how you want. You can have your own advertisers and sponsors and everything that's the same. So it's three simple ways that we can help people get on Roku and really change the game and give them more exposure to a global audience that's really that's never sleeping, you know, no matter whether you are we're across Canada, UK, Brazil, Mexico,
Everywhere. So,
everywhere.
so explain the streaming platform. So there is Roku. Roku is like the grandfather of it all, right? It kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
started it. And then there's Amazon Fire, there's
Hmm.
Apple TV. But explain how everybody basically can get a Roku. You can buy the device if
Yeah,
y'all have a smart TV. So basically everybody can watch it. So I
yeah.
can go into my family room, get
Mhm.
my Roku device and actually just start surfing and watching all the channels and that sort of
Yeah,
thing. So within the Roku um, network, or I
yeah,
won't say the network, within the Roku device or channel is iDefine TV network. And then within that network are other channels. Is that correct? So give me the roll in about how it went big from smart TV to this and this to how the channels are.
yeah. So you pretty much laid out pretty nicely. Like you say, you know, Roku is this platform that one, they had the little device, but now they're going to the Roku TVs. So now you have the device and the televisions, and then those who, once they plug it in, they have access to all this content, which a lot of people are sometimes, which I think is a catch-22 at Roku, is that they have those smart, the shortcut buttons on the remote control. So they
Right.
get there, hit Netflix, they hit the Hulu, they hit the Disney Plus and all that. But then they have to open their minds. If you go over to the menu and scroll over, you have a whole gamut, like Ben right, you have a whole gamut of different content, and then their minds are blown. That is so much for anything. So I want to say this to someone: if you have an expertise in something, it is there. Health and wellness, fitness, faith-based, finance, religion, you name it.
Speaking. Mhm.
Yes, if you're an expert, you can be there and people are looking you up. And
Mm.
so that's the format in which people are thinking about. So then we give you a caveat though, Pam. So you have the Roku device and then you have the Roku channel. Because sometimes Roku is on every other platform, like the Apple TV is on the Amazon Fire Stick and the Light. So people say, oh, I have Roku, and they go looking for iDefine TV. And I can't find you. No, Roku channel and the Roku the platform are two different things.
Mhm.
Roku, like me, we all have a separate channel, so you won't find all the content on the Roku channel. You'll find all the different channels on their platform. So that's the thing that people get caught with. They say, "Oh, I have a Roku channel, and I don't see you." Like, you know, you don't see me in there because we're not all in the channel. We are all on their actual Roku device, that their platform that they're streaming across the globe.
Yes, yes. So there's a difference. And so the device that you can buy, roughly 25 bucks, you can pick it
Yeah,
up anywhere. You can pick
yeah.
it up, at any electronics store. You pick up
Walmart,
the
Best
Roku
Buy.
device. Yes, so you pick
Yeah,
the Roku device up and then you can actually plug it in with your smart TV and you
yeah,
have that. But then
yeah,
there's the Roku where it's actually like it's the NBC, CBS or whatever. It's
yeah,
a Roku, it's the actual platform or the network, so to
yeah.
speak. And then that's
Exactly.
where they have all of the the different shows or the different networks within that, and then the networks can have channels within that. So it's like a difference when people are using networks and channel. Our channel, I guess you would say, is called the
Mhm.
Leading Edge Network,
Mhm.
and within that network, which
Yeah.
is on Define TV, within that network is Speakers Magazine show. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a different thing, but you could definitely find it. There is a search button, just like we find anything, but you can
Yeah.
find it there if you
Exactly.
have the Roku device, which is a grandfather of it. Then there's Amazon Fire, there's
Yeah.
Apple TV, and there's a new one too. See if I can't think of. It's another one that people use a lot. I know it's three: Amazon Fire, Roku. Oh, I want
You
now.
know, is it the gamer one, Twitch or something like that? It's not the
Twitch.
gamer one.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes, Twitch. So that's really, really big as well. See, I'm not a gamer, so I didn't realize that was a thing, right? I've never been a
Yeah.
gamer, and but that's like a really, really big one as well. So the
Yeah.
point of it is when you want to get out there and get known, don't just think one dimensional one way.
Yeah.
There are so many other options that
Yeah.
you can have, and whatever your comfort level is, and also to your budget as well.
Mhm.
PR is always an option. To if you have PR, one of the things you've heard CF say is that she leveraged the PR when she got it. When she heard it that there's it's Talent Tuesday, she called the radio station. She was ready and prepared, ready to go speak. She's ready and she was prepared. But then after that, she's continued to develop the relationship with that particular DJ, with the announcer on the air, and then she leveraged that some more, and actually it grew from there. So whatever PR you get, I don't care if you're going to
Mhm.
get online and you get into different online things, like if it's CEO Weekly or New York Weekly, which we could do the quick PR for that.
Mhm.
Use those logos and put them on
Yeah.
your website or your one sheet, or make sure that you even
Mhm.
let people know in an email newsletter that you were featured in a particular publication. At the
Exactly.
very least, have it on your website on a
Yeah.
media page. That's like one of the things. So leveraging it, and even if you have a show, on
Mhm.
iDefineTV.com, you can say, "Oh, I was recently featured in bada
Exactly.
bada bada," at Atlanta Wire or whatever. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? It's just like you want to leverage all of this so that people will know that there's buzz that's being created. And so
Yeah.
I like when you said that. It's like, you had all your friends just email them and say, "Hey, I really enjoyed that." I mean, that matters to them because it's
Yeah.
like they want to be promoted and have eyes and ears on their content as much as we want to have eyes and ears
Mhm.
on our content. So the more, the better. And I
Yeah.
really, really enjoy that. So the last thing I just want to ask you. So if people go to smile.idefine TV, how
Mhm.
quickly could they get a show there? Like if they want to have their own show on iDefine TV, which then broadcasts on Roku.
It's really simple. It depends on if they already have content already and they want to repurpose it, they can have it going in less than in a couple of days. If
Wow.
they want to get some assistance in learning how to create some good content, I can coach them along the way and show them some things. But again, it can be within a week because I want to make sure that everything we have on iDefine TV is PG-13 and below. So
Mhm.
what represents you is representing us, and we make sure that everyone looks good. If you need some help in terms of what type of equipment you need, or making sure this is the right backdrop and all that. So we want to make sure that it's representing you and representing us because it's a partnership. And that's the whole mission behind it's branding. Your brand looks good, our brand looks good. We're coming together to work together. And that's it. So my thing, sometimes people kind of overthink it. I think sometimes they're still thinking traditional TV, that it's got to be all this stuff, and it really doesn't have to be all that. And I tell people it's really about it's on demand. So if someone even wanted their own channel, like, okay, I fill all this content up, like, no, it's on demand. You create the content. It's like having your own version of a YouTube, but it's on TV.
Mhm.
And the best part about it is you control it. You don't have to worry about getting booted off, and then you make the money up front if someone wants to sponsor or be an advertiser on your channel. And even on with iDefine TV, we tell people you can get some sponsors for your show, and that'd be a win-win for everybody because you're giving somebody else who's a small entrepreneur visibility on a platform that they probably wouldn't normally have. So
Mhm.
it's a great way to find another platform to grow.
I like what you said, that, and this is a difference too. YouTube takes a lot to really monetize.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a lot to monetize. you can even be booted off of YouTube and go into YouTube jail, right? I've been there a couple of times myself.
No way.
I have. I've been there before, and it was like, you should not use this type of music. I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody else is using this. Like, I don't care, you know. Hey, Happy New Year, Linda. That's Linda Graves over there saying Happy New Year. Hey. So, Linda, we're talking about having your own, not just your YouTube channel, but having your own show on iDefineTV.com. And it could be on Roku, it can stream. CF was saying that if you have your own content, she can coach you through content. But the whole point of it is if you have your own channel, then you can bring your own advertisers. You can run it the way you want to run it,
Yeah.
as long as it's PG-13 and below, that kind of thing. So it's one of those things where we have so many opportunities for marketing and PR. And I want people to understand that there are ways to get out there, get known. Obviously, the first way is really like print, and that's where CF started. She started with the book, started with the print. She had a pen to pad, and she was actually doing the writing. And then from there, it really goes into social. And social is really that whole catch-all where you got content crazy, and you could do blogs, you could do podcasts, and this is part of content as well. But then also to the epitome sometimes that people really love is that they want to hear it, they want to see it, they want to watch it, and that's when you go to TV. And so her tagline is smile. I can be on TV, right? That's like one of the things. You said smile, I can be on TV. And that's really where people will hear your authenticity. You can shine your message, you can share with people, you can teach. I mean, there's just different ways. So if you are an expert, please take a look at iDefineTV.com. Get going, get started, see how you can really use this particular platform to magnify your message, to promote it. That's one of the things I love to do is help people promote, amplify, and market their message, especially authors and speakers, because they're their message bearers, they're light bearers. So you want to get out there and really just shine your light. And again, this show is about getting out there, get known, learning about speakersmagazine.com. We are a partnership with CF in terms of getting our shows on Roku. So that's one of the things. One of the things that Kim Davis says, this is an interesting opportunity. I just found iDefine TV on my Roku TV. Yay, Kim Davis. It's a black owned. I mean, obviously it's black owned. That's been how long CF?
Since 2013.
Since 2013. So it's been around for a while. So one of the things of partnering with someone like me is that we're gonna make sure that a lot more people know about it. Kim David, she came on really, really quick, but Kim David was at I met her a while ago at Barton Cable. Don Barton was like a cable mogul back in the days. Like in Detroit, he was the first he was the only person that had a cable contract in the city of Detroit and one of the largest in the country. And then he sold it to Comcast and that sort of thing. So Don Barton, bless his soul, he was like one of the pioneers in that, because at that time people were like, I'm not going to cable, I'm gonna keep my TV. Well, obviously now we gotta roll with the times, right?
Yeah.
David was there, and she was actually in advertising sales selling at Barton Cable during a time when people were even unsure about cable itself. So it was really interesting. So I'm sure Kim, and make sure that you do connect with CF on LinkedIn here so that you guys can connect and really, really talk about the opportunities, because maybe there's some advertising opportunities or sponsorship opportunities. The sky is the limit right now in 2023. I think people, if they have an open mind, you can really learn how to use all of the tools that are available. I do a show on Amazon Live. I'm doing a show later today at 6:00, and Amazon Live has its own streaming platform, but they don't let anybody in. You have to go through this whole little process, and you got to be vetted by Amazon, whatever. But it is on Amazon, their platform, Amazon Live. And obviously you can use it like a QVC or type of thing. You can sell things on there, and it's just like, click the link right on Amazon. Cool idea. But not a lot of people know about it. They're kind of rolling it out a little bit slow because of that. But CF, Just
Yeah.
they said, "This is great information." When I see something where Linda says, she said, "This is great information. I'm interested in teaching nonprofit courses online this year." That will be
Nice.
Linda says that, Linda, that will be a great place to really do and repurpose your content there as well. So that will be
Everybody looking for that because everybody's looking for how to get those grants,
mm,
and be a nonprofit. So, and that
yeah.
is something a win-win for a lot of people.
Yes, yes. So Linda, that would be good. So CF, thank you so much for joining. Get out there and get known today. I can't wait to really start sharing all of the content from the Speakers Magazine show as well, so that people can actually hear the speakers speak. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
It's good to read about it, but you got to hear them speak. So that's thank you for making that opportunity available for us as well. So if people want to, they can go to speakersmagazine.com. You'll see her little information there, but also to make sure that you go to know more about it, iDefineTV.com as well. If you have Roku, you can see the whole channel there as well. So thank you
Oh.
so much for joining us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we head out?
Just do something, don't be timid that whatever you have, whatever your expertise is, start with where you are. Don't look at what
Mhm.
other people are doing, but start where you are and just take it step by step by step and just get in front of the camera and just allow what your expertise is. It may start with a 5-minute video, 10, 15, and grow from there. But
That's
just get started because we are in the media area. And if you're sleeping, that video is still working for you while you're sleeping. While you're with family, that video is still working for you. So that's the whole premise behind this media era. It's not going anywhere. So get started.
and I want to say this one last thing. As Black people, as African Americans, don't be always late to the party. Okay.
Mm,
We were late to podcasting. We were late to don't be late to the Roku. Don't be late to the streaming. Don't be late. Just try to really be a little bit ahead of the curve in 2023. There are things that technology pulls us a little bit, like Dr. Nicole Comfort Jones says, God will not meet you in your comfort zone. He's going to pull you
mm.
out of your comfort zone, right? So
Right,
get out of
preaching
your
now.
comfort zone, right? Get out of your comfort zone and really just know that there's more opportunities when you
Yeah.
do that. So thank you so much, CF, for joining us
Pleasure. Thank you for
today.
having me.
All
Thank you for
right.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. I am Pam Perry, and I'm out.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.